So today we will discuss the reflection and transmission of EM wave for normal incidence. Okay. So primarily we are going to take a plane wave, our wave is plane, okay, and we are going to consider an interface, a pair of two non-conducting medium, okay, because if my medium is conducting, then my electric field will not penetrate inside, right. At the interface of a conducting medium, the electric field will terminate, that's there, electric field not penetrate. So if I have to study reflection and transmission at the beginning, we will start with a pair of two non-conducting medium. So before starting this discussion, I would like to tell you something very interesting today. If suppose I say that my electric field is represented by some amplitude, say I say Ex and e to the power I kz minus omega t. So it means I can say that my wave is propagating along z direction because of the z vector here, and E field is actually oscillating, it is oscillating in the x plane. So this is my x plane. So this should be E max. Okay. So if I differentiate, this is exponential. So if I differentiate this expression, I do del E by del T, I would see that the whole expression is same, but if I say I want to calculate del E by del T, then I would see that I will get only one term I omega, and then it would be equal to E, isn't it? So I can easily say by comparison that del by del T, that is time differentiation, is equal to minus I omega. Is it okay? I can say this, and also if I do differentiation with space coordinates, so I can get, if I do del by del z, I will get Ik into E. ठीक है ये? So now I can replace my del operator by Ik, where k is the wave vector, and del by del t operator by minus I omega, right. So let me now look at the Maxwell's equation again. Is it clear to everyone? So if I look at my Maxwell's equation, if my medium is homogeneous and isotropic, if the medium is isotropic and homogeneous, I will write down here, for homogeneous and isotropic medium, I can write that D is equal to epsilon naught E, okay, and I can write that B is equal to mu naught H, okay. So now I write down the Maxwell's equation. So for free space, or for we say for empty space, in empty space I mean that charge q is 0, okay, then I can write that del dot d is equal to 0 because d is equal to epsilon naught E. So, I can take that q upon epsilon naught here and I will get del dot E d is equal to 0, and the second equation I get del dot b is equal to 0, okay. And the third is del cross E is equal to minus dB dt, okay. And the fourth equation is del cross B is equal to mu naught j plus epsilon naught del E by del T, okay. Is it okay? So, if I take this mu naught here, it will be B upon mu naught. B upon mu naught is H. Is it clear? So, I can rewrite this equation as del cross H. So, this mu goes. Now, epsilon naught E is D there, okay. Epsilon I can, this is a constant, I can take it inside the derivative. So, what I get here is a new equation j plus del d by del t. Is it okay? Is it okay? There is no confusion. Okay. Now, because there are no charge, free charge available, so there is no surface charge density, thus there will be no surface current. So, J for empty space will be equal to 0. J for empty space will be equal to 0. Why? Because Q is 0. There is no charge density. So, this term also goes off. So, this is my equation, okay. Now, I can write them by using these convention, I can rewrite them as, so del dot D I can write as k dot D from here, because I dot I is 1. So, only the I component of D will get multiplied with del, then only I will get non-zero component. So, I can write here k dot D is equal to 0, and then I will have k dot B is equal to 0, and del cross B will be equal to k cross E is equal to this will be omega B, okay. Definitely the I component will not get multiplied with the I component, it will be only I cross j and I cross k component, okay. Now, depending upon the direction of propagation, because my direction of propagation is along the z direction, so I will have only I cross j component. I cross j is 1, so I will have omega B. The minus sign here will go away with this minus sign, okay. So, I will have omega B, and then I have k cross h, and that will be minus omega d for free space, okay. So, this is another way of writing the Maxwell's equation. So, now you can write the Maxwell's equation even in a medium, so it will not be very different. Here it will be rho in that case, and here I will get j minus omega d, okay. So, now we move forward. So, this you should know, because then we can easily, we do not need to go into del by del t or del operator, we can simply replace the del operators by ik and del by del t by minus I omega, okay. So, now let me assume that I have an interface, I have pair of non-conducting medium. Non-conducting, let us be more specific, non-conducting dielectric medium. Okay. I have pair of non-conducting dielectric medium, and let the interface look like this. So, this is the z direction, I say this is the x direction, and this is the y direction, okay. Now, a plane EM wave this is the interface. Here I have dielectric refractive index N1, you know refractive index, okay, that is root of relative permittivity, root of epsilon r or root of k is N1 n, and here I have N2. So, they are two different mediums, okay, and this z is equal to 0 is the interface. Z is equal to 0 is the interface. Now, a plane wave which is looking like this is traveling in this direction. This is a plane wave which is traveling towards the interface, okay. And because this is incident on the interface, I call this wave as E1, H1, this is incident, okay. Now, when this wave is incident, we all know from the physics that we have read that this incident wave will have two companion after the incidence here. Till now this component was all alone, but the moment it is incident here, it will have two more friends, and those friends are, one is the transmitted component, refracted component, another one is the reflected component, okay. So, means at the boundary these three components will move together and they would look like, I mean I can draw them. If it is a non-conducting medium, then this is the transmitted component and I call this E2, H2, and it is moving in this direction, but the reflected component will move back, okay. So, I will have something like this here. So, E will go like this is the direction, this is E and this is H. So, if I assume that these are lossless mediums, these mediums are perfectly lossless, then the strength of electric field, I mean the velocity of the electric field should be exactly the same in the same medium. The velocity of the wavefront which is moving the incident wave should be same as the velocity of reflected wave. Only there will be some change in the amplitude, and I say that that change in amplitude is E1 dash H1 dash, okay. So, this is the incident wave, this one, and this one is the reflected wave, and this one is the transmitted wave. Is it okay? Now, the direction of incidence is perpendicular to the interface, that is why we call normal incidence. So, I can now define E1 as, see this is E1 is oscillating along x axis, but moving along z axis, okay. So, I can say that E1 is equal to some amplitude E1 x e to the power, and I will write an x cap here. I am not going to use ijk, because now the I also is the imaginary I. So, I am not going to use I here. So, this is x cap e to the power I kz minus omega t. Okay. What is this? This is the electric field component of the incident wave. Electric field component, this is the electric field component of the incident wave, right? There is no confusion. Now, the reflected wave is E1 dash, okay. So, I can write that this is equal to E1 dash is equal to minus x cap, because in the opposite direction, minus x cap, and I call this as E1 x dash e to the power I kz minus omega t. Now, I have the transmitted wave, I call this E2. So, I can simply write this as, okay. Now, because these mediums are different, okay. So now wave vectors will also be different. Okay. So I should write here, this is k1, this is k1. So I will write k1 and k2. Wave vector will also be different because the now velocity of the wave would change in different mediums. So I can write E2 is equal to x cap E2x e to the power I k2z minus omega t. So this is the incident wave, this is the reflected wave, and this is the transmitted wave. So now if I say that these three waves are existing from z is equal to 0, then we must satisfy the boundary conditions that we have done earlier to ensure continuity of E electric field or magnetic field from medium 1 to medium 2. Okay. So now I should also define magnetic field also. So that is not very difficult because we all know that the strength of magnetic field decreases by C. This we have done earlier. So we will use that, and because now we are considering a dielectric medium, so a term N will also come. So I can write that B1 from here I can write that B1 is equal to, now it is along the, B is along the y axis. Okay. So I will write y cap, and let me use the same convention, no, I can write it as N1 times E1 x upon C e to the power I kz minus omega t. B1 dash will be equal to y cap N1 E1 x dash by C e to the power I kz minus omega t, and this is B1 dash, and B2 will be equal to y cap N2 E2x by C e to the power I kz minus omega t. So you can actually see, you can see that why this n component is coming. When you solve your Maxwell's equation by replacing del by Ik and d by dt by minus I omega, you will see that from this one, this equation, you will get that B is equal to n by C k cross E. You will get this. Okay. So that you can check on your own. So now these are the equations. Now we need to know the reflection and transmission. So when I want to calculate reflection and transmission, okay, in that case I need to know that how much of the electric field, if E is the total electric field which was getting in, and part of it is getting reflected and part of it is transmitted. So we will define two coefficients, one is the reflection coefficient, another one is the transmission coefficient. So these two coefficients I can write them as, they are also called Fresnel's coefficients. So I can write that R12 is the reflection coefficient, and this should be equal to the reflected part divided by the incident part. Okay. So this should be equal to E1 dash divided by E1. Okay. And then I have T12, this is the transmission coefficient, and this should be equal to E2 divided by E1. ठीक है? These R12 and T12 are also called Fresnel's coefficient. Okay, Fresnel's coefficient. Now at the interface, the boundary condition should be satisfied. Okay. And by looking at this picture, I can easily say that En1 into, I can write this, I will, what should I kill here? Okay, I will write there. So I can have the boundary conditions at Z is equal to 0. So if I apply the boundary condition for electric field, I will have N1 E1 minus E1 dash should be equal to N2 E2. Okay? Is it okay? This is clear. That only if E1 is the total, then if I subtract the reflected part, then the remaining should be the transmitted part, and I am assuming that my interface is lossless. And also I can also write that N1 E1 plus E1 dash should be equal to, sorry, this is on H. I can write that N1 B1 plus B1 dash should be equal to N2 B2, or we can write H here because we have written H. Now my H is equal to even X here. नहीं, यहाँ पे आप देखिए H1 plus H1 dash is going to H2, that's why. Okay. So these two components should be equal to H2 only from here. And okay, one thing more I forgot to tell you, that at the interface normal component of the field will be 0 because it is an empty space, and I know that del dot B and del dot E are equal to 0. So that from Gauss law I know that normal component of the field will be 0, only there will be the tangential component which arises from the curl component. Okay. So these what we are writing is the tangential component, not the normal component. Normal component will behave differently. So this is the normal component. Okay. So now let us see, let me remove this. If we look into our, if you can just look into your equations that we had written just now, at Z is equal to 0, what would be the equations? At Z is equal to 0, for electric field, what would be the equation? Let us write that, because I feel that these equations are not correct. At Z is equal to 0, I will get E1 is equal to x cap E1x e to the power I omega t. We will get this at Z is equal to 0. At Z is equal to 0, E1 dash will be minus x cap E1x e to the power E1x dash e to the power I omega t, and then I will have E2 is equal to x cap E2x e to the power I omega t. कहाँ पे? Minus I e to the power, yeah, that's right. And here also we have it. Now from this interface I say that E1 minus E1 dash is equal to E2. Okay. So if I say that E1 minus E1 dash should be equal to E2, then what do I get from here? I get that E1 x minus E1 x dash should be equal to E2 x. This is my boundary condition. Okay. So, that boundary condition, there will be no n's here. So, that was wrong there. So, this is the boundary condition that E1 x minus E1 x dash should be equal to E2 x. Similarly, from here I can derive the condition for the magnetic field. I can write that B1 x is equal to N1 E1 x upon C e to the power minus I omega t, and B1 dash is equal to N1 E1 x dash divided by C e to the power minus I omega t, and B2 is equal to N2 E2 x divided by C e to the power minus I omega t. And from there I know that B1 plus B1 dash should be equal to B2. So, this leads to that N1 E1 x plus E2 x is equal to N2 E2 x. So, this condition is also not correct. So, this is my second boundary condition for magnetic field. Is it okay? So, like this you can derive the boundary condition. What I wrote there intuitively was unfortunately was not right. These are the right boundary conditions. Okay? Yeah, tell me. क्यों आएगा? यहाँ देखिए सारे एक ही जगह ही तो है. H will not flip. If H also flips, now question you could have asked why H did not flip. If I flip both an E and H, then E cross H will again be in the same direction. So, either you flip H or you flip E. Otherwise, pointing vector will again be in the same direction, E cross H. So, means propagation will remain in the positive x direction. So, if you want your propagation to be 180 degrees out of phase, then you only flip either E or H, not both. That is why we have flipped E, not H. Okay, you could have done other way also. It is just for because we are more conversant with electric field. That is why we try to play around with the known things. So, now from here I can calculate very easily. I can calculate E1 x upon E1 x dash upon E1 x, and I can also calculate E2 x upon E1 x. So, can you tell me what you get by solving these two equations? Solve equation A and B. Solve equation A and B. So, you can directly see that E1, now I want equation E1 x in terms of E1 x, E1 x dash in terms of E1 x. So, to calculate this I will have to eliminate E2 x. So, to eliminate E2 x you will have to multiply this equation by N2 throughout. Okay. So, when you multiply this equation throughout by N2, so you will get an equation and then you subtract them. So, you will get N2 minus N1 E1 x minus N1 plus N2 E2 x. देखिए यही आ रहा है. So, you should get here N2 minus N1 divided by N1 plus N2. देखिए ये आ रहा है इन दोनों को सॉल्व करके. फर्स्ट केस में आपको E2x एलिमिनेट करना होगा. So, to eliminate E2x you will multiply this equation by N2, and when you solve this you should get this. You are getting this? And in the second case I need to eliminate E1 x dash. I need to eliminate, this is E1 x dash. So, I have to eliminate this. So, it means if I have to eliminate this I need to multiply this whole equation by N1 and I will have to add them up. So, I will get 2N1 divided by N1 plus N2. ठीक है ये? So, this is equal to R12 and this is equal to T12. So, these are the reflection and transmission coefficient at the interface of two non-conducting medium. So, you can see that if I have a non-conducting medium, the propagation is dependent only on the dielectric constants. It is only dependent on the material properties of the medium. You can say dielectric constant or you can say the permittivity. Okay. So, here if your medium, because generally whenever we take a medium, we always consider a non-magnetic medium. So, mu is always equal to mu naught. So, means permittivity is a key factor in deciding the propagation of EM wave through any medium. Okay. So, now generally it is very difficult to measure electric field. We cannot measure electric field. So, what we measure is the power or the Poynting vector, because power can easily be measured. So, now we will go forward and we will define that how the same coefficients can be represented in terms of Poynting vector. So, I can represent my average power, Poynting vector is denoted by S. So, this is the average power, formula for average power, and that is equal to 1 upon 2 mu naught C into E square. This is the average power. It will be E cross B, but B can be represented as E by C. Okay. So, this comes as E square. Okay. This is the average power. So, I can write that S1 average is equal to 1 by 2 mu naught C E1 x square. Okay. And I can write that S1 dash average is 1 by 2 mu naught C E1 x dash square. Okay. And S2 will be equal to 1 by 2 mu naught C E2 x square. Okay. So, from here I can define two new coefficients Rn. This is called the reflectance, and this is equal to S1 dash by S1 dash by S1 average, and transmittance and that is equal to S2 bar divided by S1 bar. These are the two coefficients. Okay. And you will see that Rn is equal to R12 square, Rn is equal to R12 square, and Tn is equal to N2 upon N1 T12 square. So, what actually the reflectance and transmittance that we measure is actually the measure of the Poynting vector, total power that is reflected and transmitted. You can never measure the electric field or magnetic field associated with an electromagnetic field wave. Okay. And always these are normalized components, you can see here I am writing them in normalized way. So, I always say this is very important that Rn plus Tn is equal to 1 provided your medium are non-conducting. Your medium is non-conducting. Okay. And this is also a statement of energy conservation. This is also the statement of energy conservation, that the maximum normalized energy can never exceed 1. The total maximum normalized energy can never exceed 1. Total maximum normalized energy can never be more than 1. It will always be 1, in the optimum case, or it will always be less than 1. Okay. So, this is the statement of energy conservation. So, this was all about the EM wave for normal incidence. The incidence was normal, okay. But now in the next lecture we will take up EM waves, the same thing, reflection and transmission for oblique incidence. That is, now wave is not incident like this, but it is incident at some angle theta, and then how these reflection and transmission coefficient would change. Okay. So, this we will do in the next term.